Hello, my name is Rosanamod, and welcome to the rosanamod podcast. Want to modify your life? That is corny, but I'm going to keep it in there. This variety show brainstorms solutions for everyday challenges, unlocks your secret potential, think outside the box with creative ideas that improve your business and your life. Get inspired with special guests, get motivated with how-to projects for the whole family, and learn that life is too short for anything less than being happy. Laugh with me or at me, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to laugh. Welcome to the rosanamod Variety Pod. This is your vessel and host, Rosanamod, aka rosanamod, episode 64. Today, I have 12 websites that include franchises all under $5,000 that you can start today. Some of them have under $5,000 investments, which are even as low as $1,000. I've seen a couple that are even lower than $1,000. But because there are so many, I couldn't write them all down. So I took 12 of the most popular, or the ones that I found had the most information in them. So these sites have more than 12 franchises you can start. They have hundreds, literally, altogether. Okay, so starting with the first question of the day, what is a franchise? A franchise is basically when you rent a company name. You're basically renting the company, including the brick and mortar, which is the actual store. For example, McDonald's, Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken are franchises. There's many different locations all over the place. So you can get, if you have enough money, and I'm talking a lot because those are, KFC. I mean, that's a lot more money, obviously. The more popular, the more it's going to cost you. You can actually go out and just rent, essentially, one of their stores, a McDonald's store, and call it your own and, fill it up with employees. I think they give you the employees. I'm not really sure how that works about the employee part. I'm not sure. But I know that you can go in as a manager and own that store, quote unquote. Okay, but it's basically renting the name and the location and the reputation of that business. So now that we know what a franchise is, there's so many franchises out there. They can be brick and mortar, like I said, stores outside, or they can be online stores as well. Keep that in mind because a lot of people are doing business online and you might want to be a part of that. This is a good way for you to make some money online so you don't have to go outside and work. You can rent a company, an online company, and actually call it your own and just profit from it. Okay, here goes. Number one, these are the links for the sites that include franchises all under $5,000 investment. Number one is profitableventure.com. Also, remember that the links will be included at the end of the show notes, okay? I'll list these 12 out for you. Number two, detailexpertsfranchise.com. Experts is without the E in the front. So it's detail and then the letter expertsfranchise.com. Number three, thefranchisemall.com. Number four, franchisegator.com. 5 is topfranchise.com. 6, franchisedirect.com. 7, exchangemarketplace.com. 8, smallbiztrends.com. Number 9, myfinancialprograms.com. 10, justbusiness.com. 11, franchiseopportunities.com. And lastly, businesschew.com. Chew is CHEW. And I have a little extra bonus here called Franchise Match. Now, the Franchise Match is it basically what it is. It matches you to a franchise, and you just pick out the place where you live, put in the city where you're looking for business, and how much you want to spend, and they match you up with a franchise. So essentially, it's like a headhunter for like, like a employment agency. But so that's the little bonus. So start now. I actually thought about doing a franchise, and this is going to sound funny to some people, but a hot dog cart. I know that sounds crazy, or a lunch wagon. Like, those lunch wagons that you drive around and you just kind of park it at a big area, corporate building where people go out for lunch. I thought that would be a pretty good idea to have like a lunch wagon and just kind of start that way, and then eventually just hire people to drive my wagons around. I thought it was a great idea because, first of all, I like to cook, and then I thought hot dogs aren't, you don't have to do anything with those. Even the hot dog carts, those little corner hot dog carts, they're not that much money to invest in, a couple $100, I would assume. And then the meals, the hot dogs and whatever else you wanted to put, like chips and maybe a cooler for soda, and just like they used to have in New York, when I was growing up, they had the hot dog carts. They had the pop guy at Fort Hamilton High School, and he would have a little cart with soda and chips and knishes and hot dogs. And he would have in the little hot trays onions and sauce, and then one tray with sauerkraut, and then mustard and ketchup. And a lot of people would buy knishes, which is funny because you don't see knishes in a cart anymore. And then he had the pretzels, the hot pretzels. And he made a killing. I know he did, because there were lines of kids waiting, to grab lunch. But I always had that in my mind that, wouldn't I want to have like a little cart and just take it to a corporate place? But then you would run out of food pretty quickly. That's the thing. That's when I thought, why not a van, like one of those little lunch wagons, and then sell like empanadas and, hot dogs and maybe hamburgers or something like that, and French fries. I think that that's a really good idea, but there's a lot of work involved. But also, you don't have to do the work. You could also manage it, own it outright, and then just hire people to sell for you and to go out there and do it for you. And if you figure you get a couple of these vans or a couple of these lunch wagons, put them around a specific, areas strategically placed in specific corporate places that's kind of far from a normal lunch fast food place, so that they're forced to come to you and not have to go like across the street to McDonald's. You don't want to, go to that building, right? That makes sense to me, or a breakfast wagon, like bagel and coffee. Like, isn't that a good idea? It's a great idea. If you guys are actually copying this idea and saying, I'm going to do that, that's a good idea. I want like at least 10% of your earnings for giving you that idea. But anyway, I think that's a pretty good option. Those are franchises too, if you own your own thing. But of course, you could just jump on somebody else's business idea and do it that way. I mean, the options are endless. You have to really think about what it is that you like to do. Like, don't do something because you think it's going to make you money and then hate doing it, because it won't work. You're going to burn out. You're going to be looking for something else. You're going to want somebody else to do it for you. You're never going to show up. You're going to give up when it doesn't succeed right away. You're not going to stick with it. Like the podcast, for example. A lot of people start it and they give up after a few months because they're not seeing a lot of downloads. And they're like, I'm just going to give up. The truth is, look, the podcast is a perfect example. It's not a franchise, though, but it's a home business. And I'm going to do home businesses. At some point I will have an episode with just home businesses and really focus on that. Ideas of things that you could do from home. But as far as podcasting go, you're not going to get like a lot of downloads all at once. Like I said, unless you have interviews with celebrities or interviews with, I don't know, medical doctors or something that's really, important, or entrepreneurs and how to start a business and get rich, unless you have something like that, then you're not going to see a lot of downloads at first. I started in September, September 3rd, actually. That was my first launch for my podcast. I'd been waiting years to do it. And now that I'm doing it, I'm like addicted. This whole thing, This podcast is like my drug. I need to have it. I need to do it every day. I really miss it on Sundays when I'm not doing it. I'm editing and I'm batching, but I miss doing it. Like I want to get on the mic and just start talking, about whatever, about anything. But then that's me. Not everybody's going to be like that. You have your own reasons for doing it and to talk or whatever, but you have to really love doing it is my point. So don't start a business and buy a franchise because you think it makes money. Oh, I'm just going to buy a McDonald's but it could be, yes. But do you like the actual business? Are you going to stand behind it? Are you going to, hire people that work well for you? Are you going to care to come in the morning and manage it? I mean, do you really care? Because you have to be responsible for that business. It's not going to stand on its own. See, when you have a franchise, you're responsible for the business. You got to do the books. You got to take care of the budget. You got to be the one in charge of everything. They're not going to do anything for you. They're just going to give you their name and their building. You're in charge of everything else. Do you see? You have to hire an accountant. You have to hire somebody to do the papers for you, the taxes for you. This is your responsibility. So make sure whatever it is that you do, it's something that you love to do or they're at least familiar with. So if you don't know anything about being a restaurateur or fast foods or anything, then don't get into the food industry. Do you see? If you know something about retail and clothes or fashion and you want to open a franchise for whatever fashion, then yeah. Which is something else. I actually wanted to do a consignment shop. I wanted to own a consignment shop. I always thought that was a good idea. But, like I said, these are thoughts that are in my head. I really don't like retail very much. So I wasn't really into it. So that idea slipped pretty fast. Well, anyway, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I have the 12 listed at the bottom of the show notes. If you enjoy the show and you enjoy listening to me every day, which makes me think that you're obsessed with me, thank you. I like my stalker fans that are not crazy or anything. If you enjoy, click below the show notes and support the show. I thank you in advance. And if you need to contact me or IM me at rosanamod in Instagram, or go straight to my Gmail and email me at rosanamodpod@gmail. Rosanamod Shop is on Facebook, and my Rosanamod Shop on Amazon Handmade is still currently being put together. I'm adding things to it, okay? It'll get done by this weekend. I know I said last weekend, but look, I got sidetracked. Life happens. I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to say thank you for your continued support and listening to me because, yeah, I'm awesome. Why wouldn't you want to listen to me? There I go. So I don't have any bloopers. I haven't had bloopers. I actually had somebody ask me what's up with the bloopers, but I think I'm going to put them all together and make one whole episode of all of my bloopers put together. Just do one whole episode on just bloopers. That might be a Tuesday Talks or something. Tomorrow is Thrifty Thursday or DIY Thursday, and I've got a couple of surprises for you there, so stay tuned. And as always, God bless you. Thank you again for your love and support, and I send you a big kiss. Wow, look it, you upgraded. I'm on 64 and I give you a big kiss. I wonder what happens when you hold on till episode 100. I'm just kidding. It's ridiculous. All right. Anyway, so what do we say when we end the show? Does anybody know? Hello? I can't hear you still. What do we say? We say